Welcome to DGMA Philosophy Series, Episode 4. Why Justice Won't Leave Us Alone, not merely as an idea we discuss, but as a demand we feel. When we witness injustice, abuse, exploitation, cruelty, we don't respond with indifference. We respond with moral outrage. And outrage is not neutral. Outrage assumes that something is not merely disliked, but wrong. That assumption already commits us to more than we often admit. If justice were only a social convention, then injustice would be inconvenient, but never morally binding. If morality were only the product of evolution or culture, then outrage would be nothing more than conditioned emotion. Yet we don't treat it that way. We say things ought not to be this way. We demand accountability. We appeal to standards we expect others to recognize. The philosopher Immanuel Kant argued that human beings experience moral obligation as binding and universal. We feel commanded by a moral law that does not originate from self-interest or social consensus. But modern thought faces a serious problem. If reality is ultimately impersonal, if the universe is only matter, motion, and chance, then moral obligations have no foundation. As Friedrich Nietzsche recognized, once God is removed, moral values lose their grounding. What remains is not justice, but power. And yet, we still insist that injustice is really wrong. The Christian philosopher C.S. Lewis made this unavoidable observation. A man does not call a line crooked unless he has some idea of a straight line. Mere Christianity. Moral outrage presupposes a moral standard. This is where presuppositional apologetics presses the issue. The Christian apologist Greg Bahnsen argued that unbelief consistently borrows moral categories it cannot justify. It uses justice, reason, and obligation, while denying the worldview that makes them intelligible. In Bahnsen's words, the unbeliever must sit in God's lap to slap his face. We condemn injustice while claiming the universe is morally indifferent. We demand justice from a reality we say does not care. But borrowed capital eventually runs out. If justice is real, it must be grounded in something real. If moral obligation binds us, it must come from beyond us. If injustice is truly wrong, goodness must be more than a human invention. Christianity does not invent justice. It explains why justice makes sense. It claims that reality is grounded in a personal righteous God, and that justice is a reflection of his moral character. And this is where the answer becomes unavoidable. Justice is not ultimately found in laws, systems, or progress. It is found in Christ, the one in whom truth, goodness, and judgment meet. The question of justice refuses to go away, because until it finds its answer in Christ, it has nowhere else to stand. Perhaps justice haunts us because we were never meant to explain it without Him.